High school's hard enough, but imagine how hard it might be when you can't even get into your own locker. Now, that's what one student suffering from muscular dystrophy had to endure before his classmates came to the rescue. Now, they created man's new best friend, a robotic locker, and they're here to discuss it. Joining us in the Google Hangout, we have students and faculty from Pinckney Community High School in Pinckney, Michigan. We also have with us Amy Uphouse, an occupational therapist, Sean Hickman, robotics teacher, and students Micah Stoldreher, Wyatt Smirka, and Nick Torrance. Hi, everybody.
Hi there.
Now, just for the record, what school are y'all from? Say it as loud as you can.
Pinckney.
Yay! I'm so excited. Amy, how did this all start? When did you notice that there might be something that some fellow classmates could give a helping hand to?
Well, I try to look for ways that students can open their locker, and they have different reasons why they can't. Maybe they can't see the combination, or they don't have the motor planning to go left, right, or maybe not the fine motor or the range of motion. And so I was looking online for ways that specifically Nick could, or something we could buy to put onto his locker, and I couldn't find anything. So I had emailed Sean Hickman as a robotics teacher to see if maybe he thought this could be a student project for the fall.
Oh, and what was your thoughts when you heard Amy's request, Sean? What'd you think?
I thought it was great. It was kind of right up our alley. I think we actually took a quick look at it the year before the summer, and then what we decided was the seniors in my class get to select their own projects and create their own syllabus, and we put it out there for these guys, and it was one of the projects that they selected to work on this year, and they did a great job with it.
Well, let's take a look at this locker in action. Now, this video was sent over to us by LivingstonDaily.com, and it shows Nick testing out his new locker. And while we're showing this, Sean, I'd like you to explain what's happening here.
Well, what they did is they got a remote key fob, kind of like what you have to open your car, and we retrofitted it, or the kids retrofitted it, so that it has an optical sensor right there. So Nick just waves his hand in front of it, and it causes the locker to open and the locker to close. So it's completely automated.
This is so great. It's like something you'd see on television. Now, how long did it take everybody to get it coordinated?
You better talk to the guys about that. What do you think, fellas?
What do you think, guys? How long did it take you to go from this locker does not open for our friend to this locker opens for everybody?
That probably took about a year.
Yeah. From about September until, was it 2 weeks ago, guys?
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
We had a lot of different design iterations on it also. You know, originally we thought we could just have like a popper that it would just kind of open on its own with a spring, and then we started adding motors and limit switches, and the guys kept adding different sensors and everything. So it kept getting a little bit more and more and more sophisticated. And to tell you the truth, that we got one more software update that we're going to make on it, that Wyatt is going to make on it, and I think it's going to be really good to go for him. Would you concur, guys?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, Wyatt, it's easy. Once you've actually got something that works, that can actually be used and easy to make someone's life a lot more fun and easier to deal with. But you got to get to that point first. Was it very difficult for y'all to come up with this game plan to create this robotic locker?
At first it wasn't. We had the first one, which just popped the locker open. It took probably a couple weeks after we got the locker figured out, how to take it off and remount it. But after that, each time we finished what we wanted to do, this time we would have something else we wanted to do to make it even better yet. So yeah, no, I guess.
Well, Nick, one thing's for sure, it might have been hard to get together, but it certainly has made your life easier. How has this robotic locker changed your life, Nick?
Well, it's Nick. I guess I don't spend a lot of time in Nick's classes, but from what I hear, he keeps his lunch in there, so it's something he doesn't have to have somebody else help him get his lunch, and he can go and talk to his peers, I guess, during passing, so he doesn't have to have somebody standing over his shoulder helping him at his locker.
Amy, and you know just how important that is. It's really difficult. In being a teenager in general, it's like, oh my God, there's just so much drama, but just to have this burden, it seems like a small thing, but it can turn into large rewards.
It is, I think, to be independent, and he's opening his locker just as his other peers are doing, and he's in the mix.
Well,
We
Mike,
can talk about what's going.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, please. You were saying he's in the mix.
Oh, he's in the mix, and they just with his peers. There's no other adult near him that needs to open the locker for him, and they could just talk about what teenagers talk about.
Well, Micah, teenagers are probably talking a lot about the rewards you guys have received for this incredible invention. What are some of the honors and accolades that have come about your robotics project?
Well, I believe first we received a mini grant from the Society of American Military Engineers, which is really going to help us recreate some of these lockers and improve them further.
Wait, Micah, did you received a mini grant? I thought you said a minivan for a second. You received I was like, can you even drive? You received a mini grant, and so is that what's going towards the second round of updates?
Yeah. We have quite a few more lockers to create for other students in the.
Yeah, we have two more students in Pinckney that we're anticipating building lockers for the locker opening device. So they too can be independent opening up their locker door.
And then also from what I hear is some people from other districts are going to be trying, their robotics classes are going to be coming here to help make more lockers, I guess, here so they can bring them back to their school for their students.
Well, and Sean, it's important because this is something that can be used in schools worldwide, not just nationwide. Do you think it's something that once you guys work out all the kinks and all the bugs and get it perfected, that you can start spreading this? Because there's so many uses, not just for wonderful students like Nick, but other students who are in different stages of need, sometimes permanent, sometimes temporary.
Well, we get that question. We've been getting that question a lot this week. Should you patent this? Should you sell it? Should you make more of them? I don't know. I'm just happy with the way that the project's turned out so far. It was a good learning experience for the guys. I think it's been great for Nick. He's kind of a celebrity now, getting a lot of attention. So I don't know if we're going to keep running with this or not. We're definitely going to have some guys look at it next year to make it a little bit easier to install in the next set of lockers. I'm not sure where we're going to take it from there.
Well, how much do you think it might cost if someone wanted to retrofit a locker in their own school themselves to get something like this great piece of work?
Well, it's pretty expensive. We run an industrial automation program here, engineering and robotics. So we have a lot of equipment in stock due to our suppliers and the nature of the automotive industry here in Michigan. Most high schools aren't going to have the kind of resources that we have. It's got a program logic controller in it. It's got a motor, several different power supplies, limit switches. It's a pretty serious piece of engineering. It'd be thousands of dollars to buy this and have somebody install it for sure. But we've got the equipment and we can make more of them. So we're going to help our school district out, and then I guess if somebody really needs one, they can give us an email, and then we'll take it from there, I guess.
Yeah. And Wyatt, it's something that what Sean mentioned is true. Not every school has this, but also not every school has students who are so determined and dedicated in their classes. Were you thinking about these types of projects like this robotic locker, like engineering in general, as more of a hobby or as something that you could pursue as a career?
Mike and I are actually both going to Lake Superior next year for electrical engineering. So I guess freshman year we really got into it, and from there it turned from a hobby to possible career.
What about you, Micah?
Yeah, like Wyatt said, I came into it freshman year thinking it'd just be fun to do robotics. It wasn't what I expected, but I'd say it was much better than what I expected, actually. I'm excited to make a career out of it.
Well, and also I think one of the great things is frequently we think of careers like engineering, robotics as very hands-off. And this is a great example, Wyatt, of an example of when you can be so close to the people that you're helping, and you can see the work that you're doing immediately impact your community and the importance of robotics and technology and engineering in the future. And I'm sure you're seeing that as well, Amy.
Oh, yes. This is my first time I've collaborated with two students, especially in the robotics department, and it's been a wonderful opportunity. They're so easy to work with, and it was so nice having them right here in the same building that where the project was going on, where we could troubleshoot.
Sean, and
We've got a few other projects too that we're supposedly going to be working on here that Amy's got lined up for us, I believe.
Well,
We've got a robotic arm, you know, that
oh yeah.
that to act as to help a student feed themselves, actuated by a joystick. You know, she had a couple of other ones for us. So these are good student projects. You know, sky's the limit here.
Yeah.
And do you think?
Yeah,
go ahead, please, Amy.
Oh, I can't wait for more partnering opportunities. It was great this year.
I think it's great. And Wyatt, one more thing. For people who might be in classes that they're wondering themselves if they can accomplish something like this when they're freshmen, what's your advice for upcoming students if they're wondering if robotics or engineering might be for them?
I mean, it's high school and it's a time to learn. It's not like you can really hurt yourself. You can always drop a class in the first few weeks if you don't like it. And I mean, I kind of got pushed in the program by my parents. So when I first started, I wasn't all into how sure I'd be about liking it. But I mean, after the first few weeks and understanding what exactly I was expected of me, I mean, you never know what'll happen.
Micah, what about you? Were you considering dropping the class when you first enrolled?
I guess a little bit, yeah. It was a hard class. I wasn't a very good student at all my freshman through middle school years. And this class demands a lot of you. But I guess in a lot of ways, this class has helped shape me to become a better student.
That's amazing. So when you were a freshman, there was just no chance. Did you think that you had the skill set or the smarts to help build something so incredible then?
Oh, no. You walk into the lab for the first time when you're a freshman and think to yourself, no way I'm going to ever touch any of that, because you just will probably never learn how to use it. But it only takes a year or two to get this place figured out pretty quickly. So.
And Sean, that's a bit of trepidation a lot of students and even parents might have. They might say, "Oh, my kid's too young. They can't do this. It's going to be too much pressure on them. He's not that necessarily that great, or she's not necessarily that good." But there couldn't be any, as we can see from Wyatt and Micah, sometimes kids need that type of challenge in order to find themselves.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are a real success story. They're two of my hardest working guys. I talked to the teachers, the middle school teachers coming up, and you know, maybe they just weren't standing out like some of the other, you know, quote, college-bound kids. You know, but these guys came a long way. They're the reigning national robotics and automation champions for Skills USA, which is a huge organization. They're going back this summer to defend that national title, by the way. You know, they've really come a long way, and you know, we get a lot of students in here who can't cut it. You know, the parents come and say, you know, Tommy, when Tommy was growing up, he loved to take things apart. He loved to take things apart. The first thing I say to them is, we put things together here. You know, this might be the wrong program for them. But these guys are great examples of putting things together.
Well, all of you rock. Nick, we're stoked. We can't wait to see. I'm sure you guys will all grow up together, and we'll see what kind of amazing things everyone comes up. Micah and Wyatt, thank you so much for taking your time, your talent, and putting in the extra elbow grease to make the world a little bit better place. Sean, thanks for teaching them. And Amy, thanks for bringing everyone together. We greatly appreciate it. And we appreciate all of you who are watching. Please keep watching. Keep checking out what's coming up next in our green rooms, which are going to be above me if you're on the computer, or below me on our iPad app, because the conversation always continues here at HuffPost Live.